Okay, so what you're looking at is a concert form which takes all information from the concert table, which is that one there. So you've got concert ID, venue ref, band ref, date time start, date time end. And what you'll notice on this is your lookups that are displayed there on your band ref as well as your venue ref will be transferred through to the venue ref here, which allows the user to input information easier, and your band ref here. Okay, so compared to your current database, there isn't a lot of difference between the data here that's represented and yours. The only exception to it is on band reference here, I've got an additional band called to be confirmed. Now, because this row here, or the drop-down box, is ordered by band name, because it's got underscores in the top of it, it'll always come out first. Now, you're wondering, what's the purpose of this to be confirmed field? Well, it might be possible for the user to take this concert diary form and use it to create new slots available for bands in the future. So kind of like a diary that the user can use in order to produce, like open slots for bands that haven't been announced yet. So that's what this form is all about. It's really all about, you can create blank spots for bands to work with, or you can create confirmed gigs. So for example, if I look at my macro buttons here, I can scroll through all the existing records at the moment. I can go to the last record, and another way of seeing if I can add a new record is, well, you would ordinarily press that and it would take you through to new record. Now, the difference with this form is I've locked it so that the user cannot create a new form. So it will no longer go to the edge of the form and then all the fields will be blank. It will say new in concert ID and the user won't be able to do that. And the reason I've done that is because I want to control what the user is inputting. What I don't want to happen is that the user enters in a possible date and then the date time, end date time, is before that date, because that doesn't make any logical sense. In addition to that, what I find on Access's default functionality is that this calendar app here doesn't input the time, and that can cause a conflict as well, because it's not very user friendly for the average user to input information. So if I go back to here, the user would actually specifically have to put in 2000.00 minutes and seconds and hours in order to enter the date and time correctly. So what we want to do is control the way the user inputs the information. So at the moment I've locked them out. Now, in order to lock a user out, the way you do it is you go to design view and you scroll across the top and you make sure that property sheet there is selected. And what that does is it opens up the properties menu here. Now, all of these properties are various ways that you can control objects on the form. So each object here, for example, concert ID, if I want to block a user out of it so that they can't edit the information, I go to data and then I go to enabled and I press enabled equals no. So when I then return to the form and I right click there, go into form view, I can no longer change the concert ID. And this is beneficial because the user won't be able to change the primary key and create referential integrity errors. Okay, so venue ID still works, as well as band ref still works as well. Okay, so what that does is it locks me out. Now, the way that I've locked out the user from adding additional records is I've gone into design view and over on the right I've gone to this drop down box which lists all the different objects in play on this form. So you'll notice concert ID is the field that concert ID is stored in, date, times, end, and then we've got the form itself, so the whole container of the form. Now I'm going to go to event because it's one of the buttons that we click on. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to go to other, and where it's got the cycle here, this control affects, okay, let's find it. I'll show you in form view. It directly affects this cycler here. So your ability to go to next record, last record, and new record. Okay, so we go back and focus in. Go back into design view, and then we go to other, we go to the cycle, and we change that to current record. And that's really all there is to it. So once you've done that, it will lock the user from creating new records. You can have a look at all the different additional fields here. Another button that you also need to press is you need to say, where it says allow additions, you need to set that to no. So just for example's sake, if I set that back to yes, and then save my form, should now be able to, in theory, add new database. So it's that field that's stopping the user from adding additional data. So I scroll down to the bottom, and you'll notice that when I'm out of there, the create new record label will be viewed again. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to turn that off. So we'll go back into concert ID, design view, and then bring it down to the properties list. We're going to go to form, and we're going to turn allow additions off. Now there's a couple of reasons why we're going to do that, and that will become evident in a minute.